Maryland County, Senator J. Pebble Brown. Grand Cape County, Senator Simon Boydman Taylor. Senator Daba Mabani Vapla. Bon County, Senator Prince Kiamumoy. Senator Johnny Clay. Nimba County, Senator Nya G. Twyan Jr. Senator Samuel G. Koga. Grand Julia County, Senator Zoe Maya Penna. Senator J. Pebble Brown. Grand Cape County, Senator Simon Boydman Taylor. Senator Daba Mabani Vapla. Bon County, Senator Prince Kiamumoy. Senator Johnny Clay. Nimba County, Senator Nya G. Twyan Jr. Senator Samuel G. Koga. Grand Julia County, Senator Zoe Maya Penna. Senator Thomas Yaya Nimlen. Lofa County, Senator Councilor Joseph K. Jala. Senator Momoti Cyrus. Pommy County, Senator Eddie Melvin Snow Jr. Senator Jenica Alex Tyler.
Yes, for all six.
Margibi County, Senator J. Naira Nukwe. Senator Nukwe? Okay. And Senator Latana F. McGill. Riverside County, Senator Wellington Javon Smith.
Yes, for all six.
Senator Bill T. Twelwe. Grand County, Senator Professor Albert Tukwechie.
Yes.
Senator Nominati is Batekwa. River County, Senator Jonathan Borja Subway.
Yes.
Senator Francis S. Dopo II. Babylon County, Senator Potokane. Senator Amara M. Conning.
Abstain.
Those are here, the majority. Those are here, the way you have to go, you will see them.
Those are here. Those are here.
Those are president.
Oh, why is it?
The result, 11 senators voted in favor of the motion. 11 senators voted in favor of the motion, none against, and 4 abstained, bringing it to a total vote of 24. Riverside County, Senator Wellington Javon Smith.
Yes to Clause 6.
Senator Bill Tiet Twelwe.
Abstain. Yeah.
Grandview County, Senator Professor Albert Tukwechie.
Yes.
Senator Nominati Ishbatekwa. River G County, Senator Jonathan Borja Subway.
Yes.
Senator Francis S. Dopo II. Babolo County, Senator Potokane. Senator Amara M. Conning.
Abstain.
Those are here the majority. Those are here. The way you have 3 points, you will see them.
Those are here. Those are here of laws.
Those are pleasure.
No. Why is it?
The result, 11 senators voted in favor of the motion. 11 senators voted in favor of the motion, none against, and 4 abstained, bringing it to a total vote of 24.
You say 11, excuse me, 11?
15, sorry.
Okay. Well,
Oversight, 15.
with 11 votes cast in favor of the nominees, they are considered confirmed? They are considered confirmed.
According to the number, the quorum here,
The Secretary of the Senate will communicate appropriately with the entity. AOB? 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 No AOB? Please write a motion for reconsideration. Motion for adjournment? Hello? So move.
Confirmation hearing 2 o'clock. Comments committee. What's on the three?
Is with human rights. When I get in my car and I go to Grand Jury, I see business and human rights conflict all the time. To the extent that our simple, ordinary business women cannot benefit. And I hope that this year and this administration will show that our business women, you guys focus on Indian people and metal steel, but they are ordinary market women that struggle, leave their children in Monrovia, go and sleep in Ganta on the highway to buy bitter ball. They get on the taxi, they come into Monrovia, they get 15 days, I will put them down and take money from them. By the time they come here to Monrovia to put the greens on the market, they lose profits. That's part of business. Their human right is violated. They don't have free travel, and they don't do free business. And the challenge is for you, the minister, and you as well. You need to coordinate this process with the Minister of Justice. There are so many unnecessary checkpoints at this highway that are taking money from our citizens. We have to work on that. There is no middle class in this country. If there are middle class people, then maybe they are Indians or Lebanese. But we can't find a middle class. And if there's an upper class, then that upper class is hiding their money and wearing the black clothes. So we don't know, the money is not being put to use, with the exception of the high class business people. That's part one. Part two, commerce. In the interior, I come from Grand Jude. There are a lot of border points where you have your commerce staff. But I can say here that you have only probably 1 or 2 persons that are on salary. All the other people are volunteer. In my county, in the southeastern region, ECOWAS has given ID cards to ECOWAS cross-border women to do business. When they leave and they go to Guinea and they come to the border, they are not supposed to pay taxes because they are cross-border women. They go to Ivory Coast, they go to Togo. But when they come and enter Liberia, you got commerce that will arrest them at the gate and charge them money that they pay without receipt. So my question to you, and I can't ask you that question right now because you haven't been there. You got people working for commerce, they're supposed to be collecting money and sending it to the revenue, but there's no receipt book. They're not on salary. Well, you say they're working for you. So if this person is volunteering and they're not on salary and there's no receipt to show that a water bottle is supposed to pay $1, but they just look at the water bottle and they say, you pay $5. And the woman starts begging and they say, you're not going nowhere, you got to pay that $5. The woman pays the $5 and no receipt. And the woman brings her business to town and makes no profit. That weakness is on you. You are not empowering your own citizens. So there are 2 issues: business and human rights, and you need to monitor your small business people that are struggling to survive in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Senator.
That's it.
Why don't you distract them?
I'm coaching.
But that let's say nothing.
Say it.
You go ahead, man. Give me from the car. You want to say
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and I want to join my colleagues to congratulate you for your preferment by the President. I have my concern, another question is the issue number 1 of liberalization and price control. Price control, our people are interested in price control. And this is a serious thing, year in, year out. The situation continues. And that actually undermines local businesses. How does it happen? People leave from our economy, from our commerce, and just cross over, buy things, and come back to buy at a very cheaper price. When they bring it here, sometimes they double. It makes it difficult for we who continue to push the idea of supporting Liberian businesses for them. So I think if price control is actually looked at, I know it's a teamwork like you rightly mentioned, and that was, I'm not asking question, but you are going there. But when you go with the mindset of the president's slogan and the rescue mission, think, love, and build Liberia. Currently, all the government, the private sector institutions are overwhelmed by applications for jobs. And we all know that the public sector cannot continue to be the highest employer. We have to ensure that the private sector takes over. And the only way that will happen when the sector continues to grow. But we are like stagnant. And so my caution to you is to join the team that you're meeting there to make sure that price control is paramount so that we can continue to support Liberian businesses. The other issue that my colleague raised, looking at your CV, you got a very good CV, and congratulations for preparing yourself to that extent. But usually when we're doing the confirmation hearings, we look at your past record, we look at your educational achievement and all of that. Your educational achievement, you got a nice son. Your past record, I'm on the agriculture committee, and that's a year, and that's why you were very concerned. I hope that we can have the hearing so we can hear more detail. Because my concern has been every time development partners come and pronounce millions, our people expect so much. But every year we are still at the same place. We have not reduced importation of rice. The country that feeds itself can boast of sovereignty. And all of these monies continue to come. So I'm really, really interested in that. And I hope, even though you're going through your confirmation hearing to go to another institution, you will be available as project coordinator to give us some clarity. Because these monies, some of them are loans that generations after us will pay. And if they can't continue to depend on India, China, and other places to feed us with white rice, then it's an issue. But I want to say congratulations for your preferment. I hope the community and all of us can look into your presentation and it be in your favor. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. Let me start with congratulations for your preferment to this unique office by the President. I take it that you are from Lofa by the name. Can you just go one step and say what part of Lofa?
So I'm from both Masame and Pakame.
Okay. Okay, let me just start with this. No, you're good to go. The rent, okay. You got, well, you can have time to college. You have small businesses experiencing high rent in this country. 6,000 US, 7,000 US for people who go and buy goods from Nigeria, Ghana, China, and bring it here. And I have been saying it to every person that comes here for confirmation. I hope that your duty as Deputy for Administration will not just be to focus on employment and payroll, but will be on the overall superstructure of enhancing commerce and trade in the country. Even though you have a Deputy Minister for Commerce, but Deputy for Administration is an enabling office. It's a facilitating office. So I want you to take some special interest in the plight of the small businesses and the rent. I sit with them almost every day. Some of them pay 6,000-7,000 US. The money that Ahmed or the Ahmed was paying when they were here, that's the same rent they're paying. So if you take that, maybe your next visit here, you might have a red carpet. Because also you want to look at maybe 10 years back or 15 years back, the Commerce Ministry was in strong collaboration with the National Investment Commission and the World Bank. They need to have small money given to small businesses. We need to pay attention to small businesses and help those. Even if they can help for those who are paying the high rent with small businesses, any way they can, it will go a very long way. That's my own thing I want to talk about. The next thing I want to talk about, you may make a general comment to that, but let me just line it up. My next concern is monopoly. And you said here, we're experiencing some cooperation, but want to go very far that it is good to protect copyright, but it's also good to ensure that it does not have there's a strategic balance between protecting copyright and the ease of the market against monopoly. I mean, want you to also look into that because I don't think you can answer all of that today. But monopoly must be an area to watch. It will not come in disguise. People should not have behind, their intellectual property to infiltrate monopoly. That is another area. Then the final area I want you to pay attention to is also the tax and duties on goods coming from ECOWAS country. It need not be more than 1%, or how you call it, maybe 1 ton or whatever, but there's a levy tax there. Okay. However, if we can work to make sure that people are giving a lot of leverage, it will encourage industrialization in ECOWAS country. While Liberia cannot produce, a certain produces that, when you go there and buy to bring to Liberia, there should be some, level of understanding where you should have some discussion with the Ministry of Finance, LRA, all of that, in terms of serious engagement on some of these things. So these are the lineup. If you can take note of them, you'll be on your way to success, and we all will be there to support you. As you look for better tools to work with. So basically, let me say, thanks to the Commerce Ministry, I see a boss here to support you. So I'm sure that it's going to be okay, because when your boss is at your hearing, it means a lot.
Emmy. I can hear you. Okay,
Hi.
now I can hear you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Nightly Exchange. Thank you for coming to be here with us this evening. Once again, sorry for the delay. We're trying to, I know you've been hearing this the whole week, but bear with me.
Hey.
I promise. Well, yeah, let me promise, right? I think we will do well starting next week.
Technology is not our friend, so they need to understand that. I don't see anybody who technology love. It just happened, but we'll get there.
Yes. So thank you for being here. With God, all things are possible. CC from River says, "Oh, thank you for being here with us." This is a Nightly Exchange, and you can watch us on Facebook, Liberia Watch News, and YouTube, Liberia Watch News,
and Safari
Testify. That's right.
Yeah.
You can get us on the 3 handles for now. There'll be more, but you can catch up on there for now. That's where we started from. And thank you for coming. That we would talk Liberia. So we can talk Liberia. We can talk about a country. We're here every night to talk about Liberia, the betterment of Liberia, the all the good and bad we want to see happen in Liberia. We're here to talk about it every day because we love our country. We love Liberia. That's why we're here. We're not getting paid for it. We love to do it because Shirley want to go home in her young age. Amy want to go home in her young age.
Amy not in my young age, man. I thought my young age stage, my girl.
Yeah,
but we want to go home.
Yeah, we don't want to be all holding steak before we go home. We want to do it now. It must get better now. And when we take our kids there, we want it to be like, guess what, mommy? I want to go back. Right? We don't want to be like, oh my God, I don't want to go back over there. That's not what we want. So that's why we're here. We want it to be better for y'all, for our people in the country too, not just us. So we that's why we're here every time to talk to our leaders, to do right by us, by the people, and by themselves too, because Liberia is for everyone. So thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. And if you're watching and you're not commenting, I'm not seeing your name. Thank you. I appreciate you. And yes, let's start a discussion. We have a lot going on in the country today, by the way. A lot. I know we was on a topic here last night from the Senate and everything, and today we heard something else. So we are excited to talk about it. And while we wait for everybody else, Shirley and myself will just be,
Yeah, we here. I mean, I just want to add on, with we are here every night. The team are here every night because all of us don't get to come here every night. But this is our transitioning place in order for us to go to our spoon talk on Friday and Saturday, right, Emmy?
Yeah, we're on Sponsor Friday and
So we are
Saturday.
on Sponsor Friday and Saturday, but you get to catch up on here. But we are here mostly to just
Monday to
advocate.
Thursday.
Yeah, Monday to Thursday. We are here mostly to just advocate for all of us because all of us are Liberian. And like Emmy said, Liberia is for all of us. That's a place that we are praying, we are hoping that it can be a place that all of us can be proud of as far as when it comes to electricity, when it comes to better road, better education, better health care. We want to be able to be free because now, Amy, I'm not sure if you notice, people don't like to go back home, especially people that have like health issue. They're not sure if they go back home when they get sick, if they will be
Yeah.
able to, so it's really sad. Our people should be able to go back home freely to be able to, especially older folks, to be able to enjoy their grandchildren, their great grandchildren without thinking about when I get sick. I don't know nobody who will give me my diabetes medication. I don't have anyone who will give me my high blood pressure medication. So we are advocating for better health care.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot of people, like you said, a lot of older folks here that want to go home. But if you have a medical condition, instead of you being excited to go to your country, you gotta be thinking about your health and all of that, and it's not good at all. So yeah, security, healthcare.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that interest us to, good roads, electricity, and stable internet.
Like normal day Liberia, and I hear people say that a lot. Like normal day Liberia, where
I don't know what normal day Liberia looks like, but I know.
I mean, like with eyes of faith, normal day Liberia, Amy, was a place where the country around us were looking forward to send their people for better education, for better health care, for good entertainment. When it comes to like entertainment, the movie industry, all of that stuff started from Liberia. So all the things that the other people have taken and now they implement it into
now we look like the least.
And we are like not even the least. The least is something like where you can compete. We can't even compete. So we are not anywhere. But those people took away our entertainment. They took the idea now. Not like
I'm about to say.
They took away the idea of the entertainment, took away the role, took away development, and they went and they just like ran with it. But just saying that though, as I want to, before we start, I want to give a shout out to a lot of our Liberians, brothers and sisters. There are so many Liberians that are graduating with their doctorate degree. I cannot express how proud I am to see Liberian graduating with masters, with doctorate degree. And we want to go back home. We want to go back home to build Liberia. But we can't go back home when there is no good health care. And when I get sick here, I can just go to the hospital, even with no insurance, they will still treat you and they will bill you later. But to see somebody sick and go to the hospital and you say, we can't see you until you pay this amount, and the person will die because they don't have the money.
Sad.
So it's really sad. It's really, really sad.
I think I think it's all of Africa though. That is not limited to Liberia.
But they have the healthcare though, sis. Because listen, if you go there, like I think we're talking about someone with like some blood deficient that they have to go to the hospital and they don't have the machine. So you can have the money, but you still don't have the right treatment.
You're right. Yeah.
But other country, I understand they have to pay too, but they have the right treatment though.
Yeah, places like Ghana and Nigeria. Yeah, they have it.
They have it.
They may have the same system, but they have a good Better
They
health
have a
in
good, better
Liberia.
health system. So we need that. And people used to leave from Ghana to go to Liberia for better health. Uh, 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 um, but now nobody want to even look at
The
us.
role
Like we don't even.
reverse.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Yes,
Come on.
but we are hopeful. Liberia will get better. I know some people like to say otherwise, but I don't. And I always say, like the Bible say, life and death lies on the tongue.
Mm.
Even though you may be seeing the worst, the Bible say, speak
You
life
speak
into
it
it.
out. Yeah.
Speak life into it. Speak what you want to see, and it will happen. I know some people think a lot of people are not don't believe in God, or most of our people who came here, they are too educated now for God, and they don't think. Oh, they don't think. Oh, God can do. God won't get. Yeah, no one's telling you just go and sit down and put your hands between your leg, and God will stretch his hand down and do something. But the Bible says, "Speak life." Whatever you speak from your mouth, it has this something to happen, because that's what you're speaking over your
Right.
son, over your life, over your country. So that's
Right.
what we saying. Don't bash us because we believe in God. If you don't believe in God, that's your problem. That's on you. But yeah, that's why I'm always rebuking people when they're like, bro, when I get, don't say that.
Liberia will get
It will get
better.
better.
Liberia will get better. Since
You may
there's
not
not a
see it,
Liberian. Oh,
but it will
yeah.
get better.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we are hopeful. We
And
are.
that's why God have given us Liberian the opportunity to travel to different country to see, and I always say, like, my God, why don't we have like constructed jealousy, right? Well, like, my goodness, I see this stuff happening for this person. I want to see it happen for myself. But let me go and learn or ask that person, how did you do this? I want to be able to do it myself, but help me. And then we will build Liberia. But my sister, I can't go back to Liberia right now because we need to start with the healthcare, we need to start with better education, we need to start with better roads, and then everybody, we can all go back. But for now, we'll start talking.
Yeah,
Welcome.
that's all we can do right now. Welcome to
Oh
Ray,
wow.
Patella
I'm
boy.
great. I'm great to be back. Thank you so very much, Sis Shelley. Thank you to our sister Amy. You guys look phenomenal tonight, as always.
Oh, thank
I don't
you.
know how you guys maintain
Oh,
this
that's good,
beauty,
Jane.
but I
Yeah,
mean it's amazing how.
overflow is something, and let me stop.
But you know what, man?
It's so good.
You say what? If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Don't
Don't
fix
fix
it.
it. Don't fix it.
That's right. That's right. But I'm glad to be on, man. Thank you so very much for holding it down for us.
Yeah, we
Yes,
want to thank Amy. Amy have been doing a great and
we all
exceptional
have been.
job. Just being here. And I said, my sister is on there. She is not playing. She's on there, and she's all for the Liberian people. Make sure she advocating for them. So thank you, Amy.
Oh, no problem.
Absolutely.
It's all
Absolutely.
about Liberia. That's what we're here, right?
Yes.
All about Liberia. I mean, people may see it as something else, and that's what we tell them. I tell them, I'm not a politician.
Yes.
I just and I never pay attention to Liberian election till the 2023. And girl, I think I was telling you the other day, and I got so glued to it from the battle cry, from the and I just thought I was like, whoa, like it was just the funniest thing ever. And it was so, I missed it. I missed it. The election so bad. All the songs, all the battle cry, the fun and everything. I really did enjoy it. So, and I just got glued to it. And it's sometimes it just plays to come in, talk your country, talk about things that are going on there. I know sometimes they act like we don't mean anything when we're saying it, like people, but I mean, people should be, glad that other Liberians in the diaspora are concerned about that country. They want to see. I know some people there when we up here talking and saying things and giving direction, they want to say, oh, they want to come in and take our jobs. You don't
No.
have any jobs there if you're not doing the right thing. Okay.
You don't even have a
And look,
job.
I mean, and to just piggyback over what you're saying, it's like we that live in the diaspora and those that are there, and not all of them, to be quite honest,
No, not all
that
of them.
are just certain element within the whole establishment that believe, as this, due to civil war and stuff like that, some of us found ourselves outside of the country. Like our ability now to speak on the country, or at least get involved with the development, or if not the rebranding of Liberia.
Right.
As if to say, we being a diaspora, we have sort of like, giving out, or at least giving away our authority to speak on these issues, or we don't have authority to speak on these issues because we don't live in the country.
It's a crime by getting
so
out.
So every time you get this, how do you call this? You get this backlash. You say, yo, man, if you really want to talk about Liberia, you should come on the ground and talk about it. No, I don't need to come to Liberia.
You're sitting up there talking this, and no. I think
because
it's
the
better
last
for
time I
somebody to
checked,
be out. It's better for somebody to be out to see the wrong, right? Because when you're in an environment, you just think everything is good. You just think you're doing the right thing. So it's better for some of us to be out. In all these countries that we admire, the Ghana, the Nigeria, the this and that, those people are really open up to their diaspora citizens.
Right.
They're not intimidated by them either.
No.
Yes. They are welcome.
But you won't, though. I mean, if you find yourself in a position where you not build yourself, you won't be intimidated by other people, regardless of what kind of skill set they have, because you already know your skill set is yours. And we see that even within the US, where you will have a Liberian restaurant and someone is motivated to open their restaurant, and then you think the person is jealous of you. No, you have your audience, your customer, and I will have mine. At the end of the day, I'm not taking your people. The people you know are your people. The people I know, they are my people. But we just limit ourselves with that mindset of, someone is always after us. That's why when something happened in Liberia, when someone died, it always like somebody killed them. They didn't just die on their own. There is no natural death in Liberia. Someone have to kill you, someone wish you, someone this, because we always have to point finger, no accountability.
So absolutely. So I'm pretty sure you mean to say no self-accountability, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Because at the end, and you're absolutely right. The fact that we are so intimidated, or at least by other people's successes, or by other people's growth. Even you right now, right? If I decide that we are all friends right now, Shelly and Sis, right? If I decide right now to put a hold on some of the advances, or at least some of the things that we all did or we all enjoy, because I want to, I'm trying to pursue a different career path and stuff like that. My ability now to come around as often as I used to, people now try to people now start to think, oh, he think he better than us.
You think he better than us?
You know what I'm saying?
He can come around,
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or maybe you have gotten certain promotion at your job, or your career have kind of like taken off to a certain extent, and the demand of your job does not give you the level of flexibility that you want. You once enjoy being around your friends and stuff like that. People just assume that, oh, he feel like he better than us, right? And that would be it.
Does that remind you of a certain group of people here? The behavior?
Yes.
I mean, of course it does. I mean, obviously, it's everywhere, man. That's what I'm saying.
It's everywhere.
You can take black people out of the continent.
That's what I'm saying. We behave just like black.
Yeah, it's everywhere, and it's really sad, because we find ourselves at a place where we are not supporting each other, and we have our order. I don't want to be any racist yet. They will network. They will support each other. They will be there for each other. But for us, they will even use us to tear each other down. They will use us to argue among ourselves, and no peace among us. And it happened.
I mean, to example to that is the state that you're in right now, Minnesota, right? When this guy Russell Wilson, is that his name?
Yes, Ronnie. Yeah.
And some of the excuses we're hearing for people not Liberians not
He
supporting
didn't come to my
him.
party. He didn't come to my football games. Like, really?
And I'm like, this guy is trying to go in there to represent you. And your concern was that because he didn't come to your baby shower, he didn't come to your cookout,
to your wedding,
or he supported another party. He doesn't have the right to support different party. I mean, we all cannot support the same party. That's why it's called democracy, right? In Liberia, why? How dare he support the other party? He not supported my candidate, so I hate him. And that is just so gross. And they went ahead, let him in. He lost the election. So
it's just being petty, man.
Yeah.
That's like
pettiness
at this highest.
Then we need to get out of that, because that's the same thing that happened there. You would think when a Liberian come from here, or even Liberian in Liberia that have a little bit of money to open like a business, small business or something like that, you would think that the community would support that person. But what we usually hear is that they would try to either ruin that person, but support the foreign business person over that person. They'd rather the foreigner get rich in that country and take it to their country than their fellow Liberian. Those people that don't know how to get people who are making their lives and their children's life forward to use whatever African or whatever it is. That's when but on the innocent person who has his own, those are kind of people that they try to use those things on, and jealousy and something. That is like self-hate. That's what I look at, right? Because if this man is doing well, it's a good thing for you.
For the country.
Yeah.
He might not employ your brother, your sister, but he can employ someone else. So, but there's a sad story a friend of mine told me about his uncle's son made it to like one of those professional football team and start making a lot of money. And the uncle was so excited to take the ball back to Grange there. Like, I need to take him to where I was born and introduce him to my people and let my people know that good things are, happening. And imagine, right, that kind of person being part of your community and can come and use his resources to build school, build hospital. You might not benefit from it, but guess what? Your children, your grandchildren have the opportunity to benefit from it. When that boy left and went back to Europe, he said his hair was hurting.
And that was it.
He didn't wake up.
Wow.
African son did not.
Well, say Shelly, you see, and that's why a lot of times people are a little bit sort of like apprehensive about returning back home. Obviously, yes. I'm not obviously I've not gotten to that level of at least to that pinnacle of success where people might target me. But we saw Alvin Kamara from the New Orleans Saints. You know what I mean? Visited Liberia, went down to his mom's village in Nimba County, actually. But it's just like sometimes, there are differences in family that, you know what I'm saying?
In family, in culture, and
right, in culture and stuff like that. And sometimes people that actually hurt you the most
are your own people
closest to the most.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It might not, because people outside, they just see you. They might hate you for your success. But your success definitely have absolutely nothing to do with them. But people that really doubted your ability to reach certain level in life, once you surpass that, you have sort of like shadow their expectation. And then they cannot in any way leave that sight to see you enjoy that. And they'll do everything, including going to the dark world, trying
That's
to,
why you need to come on the testimony show. We'll let Amy take over and get to politics because
So,
we're gonna get onto
thank you, thank you,
definitely
thank you.
testimony we about to get into, but yeah, we'll let
Yeah,
Amy
you
take
know,
over.
it's a lot. It's a
But
lot in our country that
you
we're
never
talking.
invited me on your testimonial show, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Okay, we're talking about that in the back.
That's cool.
Don't let me blow here.
But let me tell what on our mind. We ready to start
Yes,
politics,
so let's
Liberia,
welcome
you know?
some audience. My favorite audience so far, my viewers so far, Wilson Johnson.
Amy, you're gonna put yourself in trouble with your favorite audience.
Oh no, I take that back. The first
Yeah,
guy that ever came here, and I'm still advocating for him to come on. Wilson Johnson is a citizen. Please come on, because your CDC brother then can be running away. You need to come here and defend your party and tell us about, you know, something we. Anytime you're ready, let me know. I'll give you the
The
link.
CDC, they told me they're running away because they're like, so UP people are like, but I'm not UP.
There's no UP people here either. So yeah, so you need to come on, Johnson and Woloyu Kilo. Yes, thank you for coming. And Helen Washington, welcome, Mama. Prince, welcome. Tewuntu. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Please forgive me. And our own Alfred.
I mean,
welcome.
You want to switch our brother in the middle? They put a man in the middle, you will protect us.
Me can press check like yeah. Please be the
It's okay. I see 101. Don't press check like mine. It's okay.
That thing away looking. Let's do that thing.
My goodness.
But I can't pose it. Where they go?
We just here talking. Nobody seeing how we looking. We'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, Johnson, you need to come on. Meiji, welcome. Thank you for coming on. I'm watching from RIS Highway. Good. Thank you. Yes, we need you to watch. This is for you, especially your here. Kolokwa is the order of the day. Okay, we try our best to speak so you guys can understand us better because we're here to kind of maybe some things we're here to tell you. You don't know it, you don't hear it, and we're here to let you know we are here in the diasporas. Even though we are concerned, it's all of our home, but mostly, you know, it's for you to something. My Ruth, thank you for coming. My Ruth is always here.
My Ruth is here. Hey, my Ruth.
Sammy and what's his name? Lane Lapo. Waiting for you. So yeah, thank you guys. We have a lot going on in the country today, but there's, you know, one issue that really touched my heart. Should I say touch my heart at all that I'm really interested in? And I hope the guys will hear. I really want because I don't know what George and Vasco, because we're supposed to have some solution here to help us talk about it. Because we can't be on here and everybody be. I'm pretty sure we all have the same opinion on this, and I like to.
You never know. You never know, girl.
So yeah, as I said, we were talking about the communication from Senator Amara Conner yesterday to the you know, Ministry of Justice about, you know, his concern about the Capitol building fire. They didn't know what was going on. They wanted to know what the investigation at and what was taking so long, you know, things like that. So, but yesterday, we there was we talk about the communication we talk about the appearance of the Minister of Justice before the Senate. And they were telling them that they couldn't tell them much about the investigation because they to tell them much about the case because it was still on investigation, still ongoing investigations, and they had some people in court and all of that. But then today, we're hearing that the police, there's some people in the House from former Speaker Kofa and others are person of interest, and they're supposed to be appearing. Let's see if we have that thing here to even put it up. supposed to be appearing to the headquarters tomorrow, LMP headquarters. So, I mean, guys, what do we make of this big old, breaking news? Now that because we always said that the people who are getting arrested and taken to jail are just like we say in our country, small people. There's no BB, they're just talking about the BB people, but we're not seeing anybody getting arrested. And now we're hearing this. But now they're not, like as usual, they're always calling to walk in, not being arrested or anything like that. And they're going in tomorrow. So what do you guys make of this? I want to start with you, Shirley. Can you hear me?
Well, yeah. What was your question, Amy? Sorry.
What do you guys make of the fact that the former speaker? I was trying to find anything to put it up. The former speaker and some other representatives are supposed to appear. They have been named people of interest, and they are supposed to appear to the LMP tomorrow.
Really, so like, are they calling it in to investigate or what is it? Because I mean, it's been a long time, so I thought this was already done. They came up with their conclusion and everything.
No, the
So is it like
investigation is still
reopened?
ongoing. It's no
Okay, so
arrest or something like that. The investigation is still ongoing, but they had named these people of interest, right?
okay,
And
yes.
they need to appear at the police, the headquarters and stuff for, I don't know, it's another questioning, and yeah, you're right. They've been doing it for a while now, so
Yeah.
it's the second.
So I'm just like, if it's questioning, what question did they miss? Because they had it in there, they asked them questions. And if you have enough evidence to say, yeah, this person is guilty, why are you calling them in again to ask them questions? I thought they said they already have that.
Well, they had some new evidence or so, but what do you make of that?
I mean, I don't know what they're calling it in for, but I'm just like,
I was trying to pull the communication up. I don't know what this thing is.
Yeah, whatever they're calling it in for, I don't know. Just what is it going to come out of it is the question, Like what's going to come out of this? Is it going to be the same thing where they're going to walk in there, ask them question, and they leave and nothing come out of it? Or they're going to go in there, show the evidence that they have and say, why you are guilty and charge them if they are guilty. It's just in the air, Amy, for me. I don't know if I have much to say
I don't
about
think they
that.
can give her a guilty verdict till they go to court. So if that it just it's kind of like the investigation still continue or something like that. It's not, they can't.
So the police are doing the investigation. Like, I don't know. I just don't have much to say about it. I just feel like it's just waste of time to just keep going around the circle and then end up to the same place.
Okay, so this is what we have. Say former Speaker, Councillor Jonathan Kofod, Representative Priscilla Cooper, Dixon Siebel, Melvin Cole, Jacob Debbie, Frank Safoko, and Abu Kamara have been summoned to a meeting at the Liberian National Police Headquarters on Friday, June 6th, as part of the investigation into the arson attack on the Capitol building. These lawmakers are considered persons of interest. The summons are communicated by Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman and read by Chief Clerk Marjorie Sayon during Thursday's session. These lawmakers have since been appearing and provided information to assist the LMP investigation. So yeah, I don't know what else is there that there's something, but they are supposed, like you heard them say, they're supposed to appear tomorrow and something. So, and this is after the communication from the Senate. So that's why, what do you think is going on? Well, Ture can come in and say.
Yeah, I moved to Ture.
Well, thank you very much, Amy. So obviously we know how cases like these tend to play out in our country, especially when a senator like Amara Conan, who have vested interest into really getting down to the bottom. That's what happened to one of the most secret, structure of our country, a structure that survived our brutal 14 years of civil war. Nothing happened to it. All right, 14 years, nothing happened to it. But bunch of greedy politicians, self-sinking politicians, decided to put fire into it. And now everybody want to approach this thing like the way how things are, conducted in abroad. Oh, time heals all wounds. This thing gonna go away. Then we're gonna demand for budget support to reconstruct it. Oh, no. Under this administration, there's a new Liberia. That is, he who commits the crime serve the time. That's the energy we bring into Liberia now. Nobody gonna commit such an heinous crime and think you're gonna go scot-free. So that's why Amara Conan is bringing it forth. As you can see, the temperature in the room was kind of, disappearing. But Amara Conan have made it his business to bring more energy into it. Right. So now the LMPD now, they are carrying out with this level. I mean, I think this is their second time, if not their third time, calling this group of individuals. So I think they are getting somewhere, because when they have called you for the first preliminary investigation, then they call you again, and I'm assuming there's a third time going in there. So there's something there. Maybe they're trying to.
So what do you think prompted this other summer? You think is because the senator kind of raised a concern about it because he felt like the kids were getting cold and they were not hearing anything. I mean, all of a sudden we just saw them at the Senate and this communication came up. So, but
Amy says, Shelly, like, none of us are oblivious to how investigation goes in Liberia. Obviously, people do everything to try to stall the process. You know what I mean? Because nothing ever goes far in our country. So Diho cover hole that have ensured our country for so many years.
That's the right one right there, Diho cover hole.
Right, and lack of accountability can only lead to so many suffering that Liberians have been subjected to over the past century. So you're absolutely right, Amy. This group of individuals, they are people of interest, because you have to understand that, Amy, there's a recording circulating there, right? Between Abu Bana and those guys, right? Where they are talking about they want to do something big.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that recording is there. We don't know how authentic that is, but I'm pretty sure with the technology in the country, with all this information being available to the judicial system, to the justice minister, to the police, obviously whether that was doctored or whether that was some AI generated, whatever that is.
But to it, does that recording, have you heard the recording?
Huh?
Have you heard the recording?
I haven't.
I have.
Does that recording anyway sounds like an AI to you?
Well, no,
we don't know what AI voices.
Well, you see, Amy, we live in a tech-driven world now, right? Anything is possible, and it won't shock me if in fact that was the case. But guess what? There is also an app to that, dictating AI generated content, right? In terms of authenticity, they can actually verify whether in fact that was AI generated or it was something that was authentic. So I mean, they're where those guys get paid big bucks to come up with these results, and I have all confidence in the LMP and the Liberian, security apparatus to come out with a swift resolution. I think this issue now need to be put to bed, and perpetrator should face the full weight of of the law.
So,
But wait,
so as we're talking about this situation, people don't know the gravity of it. Well, they know, but everything in Liberia is when the B-man hands is in it, then is nothing till when they just innocent
just
or
a comment.
Liberian people do it, then it's a problem. So should we? Do you think that this thing letting it die like that, if that's what they want to do, or if they should do that? Can you tell us, or can you tell me how grave do you think this is, or what kind of impact would it have on the country for doing something like that?
I mean, I have a question or something to say before Ture can answer that question, but we switch on. So I know we're talking about recalling, and Ture said he had the opportunity to hear the recalling. I'm just concerned, like, what's in that recalling that justify that, the people in question that are calling in are guilty of the crime, or the crime can be attached to them?
Okay, I'll answer that question, Shirley. So look, Amy, to your question, right? This is big. This is big. When we talk about like a crime against the state, it cannot get any bigger than this.
Right.
That's a federal building, Amy, right? This is to have a federal building be,
desecrated like that.
Sort of like, made to be mean now on social media. I mean, that in itself is a disgrace to the whole country, right? And that building, with all of its history, with the years that building have stood for, to have it, being set on fire like that, it is absolutely an abomination. And perpetrator definitely need to be held in contempt, and they should face the weight of the law. So it is absolutely, and then also speak to precedents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because these kind of cases, you definitely want to handle it with absolute, give it all of your energy, give it all of the, the measurable, the might that it needs, because you don't want to play with this, because precedent is always something that you're worrying about the reoccurrence. So something like this could happen in the future. And then people look at what you did, which kind of precedent you set this time around, right? And if you let these guys to go freely, guess what? Then you're not going to be able to measure something like this, which of course, it is absolutely possible that something like this could happen in the future. Because we are human beings. And history obviously always found a way to repeat itself. We might not like it, but that's just how the war is, right? But you have to deal with this now.
Yeah.
Government need to put a foot down, justice to its fullest, and people should actually suffer for this, right? And to say Shirley's point, look, this is the thing. Me bringing that recording play out is not in any way an indictment on these individuals that have been called right now to go and do whatever they are called to do tomorrow at the National Police headquarters. Maybe they have found something, right? Because if somebody should call you, if I should call you, I say, look, we got something big that we want to do tomorrow, right? And these are people that have done worse, that have done something in that building before, like the Abu Bana de Safoko. Safoko is on recording saying he will burn down the Capitol building. He said that. All right. He also made that same remark at RIA. Remember that, Amy?
Oh yeah.
When quote unquote they could not allow President George Manuel Weah to use the presidential suite or suite that is meant for the president, right? And they went to RIA, they did all of these things. They said they will burn down the airport, right? This is the guy. So if somebody can make that outlandish statement out like that in public,
A lawmaker.
and that person is now being involved with an investigation that have to do with the burning of the Capitol building. You don't need a rocket scientist to be able to put a thing or two together to come to a rational conclusion that where there is fire or where there is smoke, there must be fire. So this is not an indictment, because I'm not in any way investigating these guys, but people that are in charge of it, they are the one calling them. And I know, Amy or Shelley, when people can call you after an investigation that
Oh man.
He got
It's
we got law for
technology
this
again.
topic, bro. He can't make it.
So we're gonna move to formula before your brother get back his rhythm. You understood the question, right? You're watching from the back of
I always told you that as intellectual, when we come to this,
I forgot. You did say that.
we don't need to go back to the beginning. Wherever the conversations meet us, there where we start from.
That's where you start from. I know you come to church late, you just join the praise and worship.
Yeah, so basically this is something that I want to be on record and be very clear about that. When it comes to Liberia, I don't sugarcoat anything. I don't polish anything. I'm not a praise singer for anybody. I never in my history have ever been a choir master to sing song that pleases the pastor. No, I mean political song.
Okay.
And so today, the issue with this quote unquote individual of interest being cited to be called by the Liberian National Police is welcoming. I want to say this, that the police should be given the opportunity to get a closure of this entire situation. It has been too long in our country history that many at times perpetrators get away with things simply because there had never been or documented or a conclusive closure of any case in our country. Everything in our country has been politicized. Everything in our country has been uglified, stupefied, and transmogrified by some elements, some unenlightened elements who think that they can disrupt the process because they want to protect their thieves. Look, whatsoever happened to the state house, I 100% support the president term used to describe those individuals as hooligans. That was a complete carnage. It was barbaric and it was complete ecocentric for people in modern time to ever think to bring down a state a legacy in a historical building.
Right.
A building that was even born before some of their fathers. People sat in that building for generations. And then few boys who came from nowhere, who were given the privilege, because the position itself is a privileged position, and they are not overqualified than other people. But the Liberian people saw something in them and they thought that they could be changed, individual or change, to go in there and represent them. And that's the reason why they call them honorable and as honorable. to sit over there, maturely articulate the views and aspirations of their people. But instead, people go in there for self-aggrandizement. And now we have reached to a point where people think that if it is not them, it shouldn't be any other person. This is the layman mentality. This is how Liberia has been kept down. Liberians are noted, they are recorded in history for singing slogan. Liberians are recorded in history for honoring people. They are recorded in history for always making news out of nothing. Liberian men will never push the cause for positive thing. The only negative thing you hear, they will be running the media a whole day. When last have you heard in this media of all the good things that this government is doing? When last? The only thing you're going to hear, the only part of money you're going to hear is somebody wants to tell a 1 year, 5 months, or 6 month government about bread and butter issue, as if there were milk and honey in 1 year, 4 months ago, there were milk and honey all over the street, and then all of a sudden, as soon as this government came in place, everywhere go dry. But that issue that the police has now enacted, and they have charged themselves now. Look, I believe in the resilience and the fortitude of Gregory Como. He's a civilized and a 21st century policeman. He's very educated, very, very, very much sophisticated. So he's not just a policeman who sat over there. They carry the CDC headquarters, they beat them, then they come back over there. They can't say anything again. And people controlling them all around the place. But you will not do it. You will never do that to a Gregory Como because he knows the law. He knows the modern policing tenet. So we are going to use the law. For those who be elements who planning to disrupt the process tomorrow,
we'll get to that.
Oh, okay. I don't want, because I'm getting to a place where I want to just fire. But we welcome the idea. Amara Kone, sometimes our friends, in the comment section, our friends and say, "Oh, Amara Kone want to chase clout." Never you ever, and belittle a man who for once in his life try to say the right thing, because it is never too late to do the right thing.
No.
We have many bad things Amara Kone might have done or might have gone silent on, but for raising the argument in the house of error, because we know that Liberia is a society that is filled with impunity. There are many people who are breed in that particular culture of impunity. And now that Amara Kone spoke among his friends and said, "Look, we should not sleep on this matter. Let us come to a conclusive end. Let us come to a closure of this matter, because this is a precedent case.
Right.
This one will serve as a caveat in the future, so that any other person who will think in their mind that they can come and cause harm and come and cause an arsenic attack on the state, they should know the repercussion. They should know that there are laws on our books that are going to make sure that it be effectuated, and whosoever that is found culpable will feel the full weight of the law."
So, family, you said something about the president went to the Capitol and, angry in his spirit and within himself when he saw what happened. Like all of us Liberians, or most Liberians, right? Almost all Liberians. Like when I seen that building in flame that morning, and I'm just sitting there like, and this is a country that I didn't grow up in, but this is my home, of course. I love Liberia. I want to see it do what, and I constructed jealousy. I have that too. I seen things on the side. I wanted to be in Liberia, and then we don't have the resources sometimes to do these things. And then when I went in 2023, I went to that building, and when I see it in flame that morning, I got so sad. Right, I was so emotional. Like it was like watching a personal property of mine, investment, right, in flame. I'm like, wow. I know we always say this, that like these people don't care about this country, but this is really proving it. Like if it's not me, and what is this about? Job, positions? You are not bigger than the country. So the president being upset and going there that morning and using the word, the hooligans that who did this. Can you let the librarian, because it has been like a rhetoric or like I don't know, I'm gonna say talking point all over every platform like these. Well, the president, there was no investigation. He went and he called people hooligans. Can you tell us, yeah, maybe some of us that don't know the thing they call book, is hooligan an individual that name or whatever, or is a people that create certain acts, you know, and something, because, and then when you know how when people hear things and then they're wrong with it, they don't even know to make their own judgment, they're wrong with something like that. So, and then you use that word here. So I just want you to like make it clear to the people that who don't know, who they understand, because people are telling their story, making it seem that the president came and called names, like, oh, this is representative so and so, this is representative so and so that did it. So can you explain to people what
Look, I don't sometimes like to dignify people who doesn't understand and simple things. The president, look, you saw people make mockery. They make mockery out of the representative James Colette when he broke down in tears,
right,
on the ground of the Capitol. That was how I felt, Amy. I just came out of a 3-hour surgery after scoping in a case for 3 hours. I came out early that morning, and I went to the break room to take a few minutes break to rest my leg. And then I decided to scroll through my phone, and I saw all the notifications. And when I opened my phone and I saw the State House, I thought this was some other country it was happening to.
Right.
I was in complete dismay. I was shocked. I went into this shock that I couldn't, and I froze out for a minute. I couldn't believe, and you could feel the heavy water ran down my pants. I couldn't believe that this was the State House of my country. Look, it was almost like when Nelson Mandela said, I wrote and my tears punctuated. It was almost like I wanted to write and my tears, I couldn't hold back. So James Colette was emotional. Any true Liberian, anybody who really feel that you love that country, if you see what happened on that very fateful day, you'll cry. Look, the president was very, very diplomatic to even use hooligans. He was even diplomatic. And the hooligans you're talking about, first of all, let's look at the word hooligans. It's a noun. It can be used as a noun. Most especially, it's a plural noun. And a hooligan is a violent young troublemaker, typically one of a gang.
Absolutely.
The activity that was exhibited over there was not.
It was an act.
It was not an honorable act.
Right.
It was not. It was a violent. It was a violent act. The president. Look, the president is the first person who gets information on all security matters in the country. Before the president could even get out of his bed, he had already been briefed on what happened over there. And the president went, he did not refer to any individual.
No.
The president said it in clear terms. I said President Baraka was so diplomatic. He behaved like this old school
You can see the angle though. You can see
yeah, who was so, he was broken and he tried to make it look so good and he called them even hooligans.
He's the
I would have used very strong term on that day. They are so lucky it's not a family. They should be happy. It's not a family. I would have used some terminology on that day that some of them, they will not be able to even walk freely without checking whether part of their body is not missing.
Yeah.
Because the president he was describing the act that was carried on the state capitol, one of the oldest since 1949. Some of them were not even around that time. They were not even born to see the foundation of that capitol. Some of them, their fathers did not even see it. And then they came and they went on there. That's the reason the president said, look, this place is not for hooligans. The president did not say, those guys are hooligans. He said this place is not for hooligans. It's for mature people. It's for mature people. And that's why he said, no matter what anybody think or say, we will build this country. We'll fix this country. We'll build this country. So the president was trying to describe the act that was carried on by, because the president was just putting together everything that happened in that particular house. People went over there overnight. They broke all the seat. They broke into the meat chamber and removed all the seat in the chamber. People went over there while the colleagues were in session. They broke the door and pepper sprayed them. Are those people not hooligans? Come on now.
Oh, thank you, from the. So yeah, that's a concern, right? In our country, we really need to be. And then when people use these words, the president used that word, or if anybody else using it, making it, the president did not get, and then he said hooligans. Well,
look,
he did not say Ture did it.
Another way.
He did not say Famula did it. He said he describing that act.
For the layman who don't know, hooligans is another name for troublemaker. My people, when they say somebody is a troublemaker, somebody is a vagabond, they are hooligans. The president just try to go use that one say even heavy. For our people who selling bitter ball in the market, if your son, when you tell him to do things, not do it, and you go and you start breaking things all around, causing trouble all around, he's a troublemaker. So another way, the layman thing for hooligans is troublemaker.
Our brother Wilson said he shocked for the investigation by saying that.
Forget about Wilson.
Wilson, I said you need to come on here because I don't understand how.
Is it the president shocked the investigation?
By saying hooligan. I mean, he did not say Wilson did it.
The president calling someone hooligans.
Yeah.
Shocked the investigation.
Yeah, but anyway, so
the president was talking about the act that was perpetrated, and that act could only be perpetrated by people that are uncivilized. How about that?
But I mean, let me get crack that little joke. I'm a boy, Wilson Johnson. You know, when we were at the University of Liberia.
Oh, you know, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, when we were at the University of Liberia, we used to tell our friends, and when we used to have this discourse, we used to tell our friends, he said, this university was not built for Yakpawolo, was not built for Ogbatarabo, it was not built for, it was only the Wilsons and the Johnsons. These were the two leagues we were always using. This school was built for the Wilsons and the Johnsons. So each time I see my friend Wilson Johnson, I say, but he see that they made it here.
No, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, so guys, next we're going to from what we're hearing that our brothers and sisters from the Sakimo Tree are planning to gather tomorrow to go and escort their lawmakers. Hearing this, my number one question, and number two is, just going to throw it in there so you can talk about it, and we'll start with Ture. Should this be a concern to all Liberians, regardless of which side you sit on, about what happened to our Capitol building and wanting to know and bring those people to justice, a book, whatever? Or should this be something that we should be shielding people who, did something like this? And I mean, should every Liberian be concerned to know what happened, or we should be more concerned about politicians and political party? Ture.
At the end of the day, we live in a country where everything has been polarized politically. I feel like people value now can only be sort of showcased by their alignment with a political institution. And once you are sort of in line with a political institution, the only way you can showcase your relevance or at least your contribution is to play the hardball. That is, be as disruptive as you can be. In the case of the other side, the jumbo political party, aka You know what I'm saying? So they will always get the loudest, the insane people that will do everything to showcase to their demigods that they are willing to do whatever it takes, including some of the most ridiculous things that you can think about. So the whole thing about, you know, these gentlemen and ladies assembling tomorrow or whatever that is to just test something that does not exist. You know, the whole idea of this protest is to actually divert. But I'm very, very much you know.
So should we say that these protests in Liberia by the CDC, should Liberians be concerned about wanting to bring CDC back into power from these things? Because if you talk about investigation, you know, they pass around, oh, they said this happened. Well, how come we're not investigating this? Yesterday was saying, you know, talking about this same topic. And when they talk about reopening, you know, deaths that happen, I forgot the term that we used yesterday. And my brother George was like, oh, they had not even solved the Capitol building on Saka yet, and they want to go back to CDC something to talk about deaths then that happened. Okay, so now they're trying to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
But every time they try to investigate, these people try to say, the same people that said they're not investigating, they're not doing, they're staying in the way. What does that tell you about? I mean, are they all for and they're crying, talking about rule of law when it's not? You know, I mean, does it show you that these people already mean business about the rule of law, and they really care about investigation in our country, or they just want to just be lying to the Liberian people that they truly care about what happened to the country?
Well, at the end of the day, man, look, the protests obviously they are not done. They are not being sort of like brought forth without any hidden agenda. The agenda is clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are here to distract. They are here to get the government to capitulate to some of their demands as far as, you know, bringing in chaos, you know, that would then sort of be the pretext to discourage, you know, international, you know, partners for coming. You know, that has the only motives. Okay, wow. That's the only motives, right? You obviously people that are heading the protests, these are not, you know, unfortunately, they are not small people, to put in my layman Liberian term. They are not small people. Like if you look at Moba Molu, they do have a history of really getting some, you know, like high earned, or at least you know, staging some of the biggest protests in the country. But that was then, when the people have not entrusted them with 6 years. So I don't know where that momentum we take them, given the fact that they did not perform when the Liberian people entrusted them with 6 years. That 6 year was engulfed with rampant corruption, self-enrichment, and at the detriment of the Liberian people. So their actions and inactions and the suffering they brought onto the Liberian people, those things did not happen in 1847. These things happened just just couple, not even couple, like literally, you can say last year. And like we're talking about before the show could start, you know, our sister Shirley brought about people not taking self-accountability, because I feel like before you can start holding people accountable, you should first start to hold yourself accountable. I think that's the first step, you know, to holding other people accountable. But these guys believe that they can ride on the emotions, they can ride on the ignorance of some of our people by bringing these, self, purported protests that only tend to benefit their political agenda, their political drive, their political, aggrandizement. But the thing Liberian people are going to buy for it. Liberian people are not going to vote. I mean, I feel like this is going to be the final or nail in the coffin of the CDC, because this protest now going to live up to all of the hype that they think this protest is going to generate. And I can almost guarantee you, Amy, right now, I'm calling it, I'm not a soothsayer. I don't court saying. That's not something that my family are kind of blessed with. I can almost guarantee you right now, some of the organizers behind the protest, they're going to break apart before the protest even start. Guarantee, in my Charles Barkley's voice. I'm telling you right now, the protest is going to be some of the weakest. Because you have to understand, Amy, right?
You gonna call me Nelson.
I know, right? Because I'm so used to calling Nelson. You have to understand now, right, Amy, right? With everything we have going on in the country, including go right now, I spoke to my mind Batala, right? Yes, indeed, the country is not, projecting like they anticipated, but also they are so aware that there's a global economic crisis happening in the world. All right? And for a country like Liberia, who does not produce anything but consume everything, I mean, you can only imagine how that going to be on the country. But it is incumbent upon us, we the opinion leader, yourself, family, and socially, to really put things into context, right? Yes. The economic hardship Liberia faces some of the toughest for a country that literally does not produce anything. So they want to capitalize on that, but the woman don't understand. I was listening to an interview that someone there I realized, I believe, called her a couple of weeks ago, and it literally, that old man was selling her beta ball, and the old man couldn't have put it any better. The old man said the reason why the country had doing CDC time, the people have money all over the place. But those money were now going to institutions. Those money were now going for.
This is a beta seller talking.
Yeah, this is a beta seller saying these things.
You gotta educate people acting like they don't understand it.
He said the old man is trying to put the money. The old man is trying to put the money. The old man is trying to get the money from individual and put the money then in institutions where the student and school supply will be available, right? Benches will be available. Teacher salary will be made in time, right? So this is what the old man was talking about. So if that old man selling a beta board can have that kind of understanding of government and the working of government, then how about some of us who sit here who understand the global economy, right? Mm-hmm. We need to come and tell the people exactly what is happening. We all in America here. We know exactly how much we pay when we go to these grocery stores.
Absolutely. Thank you, Drew.
All right. Thank you very much.
So, Famila, should we say, or when people say, or when we say that we Liberians are our own problems, is it a typical example of that? With these people, deciding to show up and shoot politicians that have been, cause people of interest on a hideous crime like that are committed on our country, and you have people talking about going to go protect them or escort them, or instead of them sitting aside to see what really and only ask for, transparency, right? But they are actually going to shoot them. Is this one of the example when people say that we Liberians are our own problem?
That is what happened when corruption become institutionalized and people think that they will have few of our people who have been economically dispossessed, so it has affected their reasoning, and assemble them so that they can score a political point. But I mean, here's the thing. This government is a very responsible government, and that's the reason why you always see that every time there is this pandemonium about uprising, about bringing this protest about this, before you realize it, those who are even playing the protest lost idea. They don't even know what exactly the protest is about. If this government, now that this government is doing something, they have left all of that. They are looking for something else to bring the nose up and to create problem in the country. But look, the government of Liberia, under the stewardship of President Joseph Yuma Boakai and Vice President Jeremiah Pankun, is a responsible government and will not give nobody any chance to make our country to be pinned in a negative form. Constitutionally, it is a right of every citizen to assemble, to petition the lawmaker, to show solidarity to whosoever they want to show, to will protect them under the law. But if there are elements of the fifth column who think they can come out and bring out some of our boys to create a serious and unfavorable environment that will provoke the police into acting, then they should be ready to face the consequences. Because where your right ends, another man's right begins. The Liberian government will not stop anybody from assembling. You must give the police chance to do their investigation. If you think that you have the power tomorrow to go and disrupt the process, then like how the president always said, whosoever that will be held, that will be caught will be held, will feel the full weight of the law.
Formula, 1 second. Let me play a video here about from the civil CSA director, what he said about the protest stuff, something like that.
So while your clip is loading, let me keep talking until you can get ready.
Okay.
Look,
by the highest standards, our lives are in the public. Everything we do is in the public, nothing secret about what this government does. But I will tell you why you've been seeing social media posts around about 43 million for 2 weeks, and then later about 48 million, because I know some of you only came here to cover that, not all the percentages that we're talking about. I will address that right here before you even have time for questioning. You recall when I informed the public that then Speaker Kofa wrote the CSA, meaning the Director General.
Oh, come on, video.
Amy got love for the video, but she not making.
I don't know, these glitches.
And submitted a new payroll of the Central Administration of the House of Representatives. In that request, the former Speaker asked me to
Why is it breaking up like this?
approve the new payroll with a dollar value of $320.
Oh.
So we already know it was that same payroll issue that he resisted and
Right.
refused to honor from the former speaker. It was on that same payroll, supplementary payroll, that Akara Gray were quote unquote getting paid from.
Oh,
So-
one second from the yes, John, we are on YouTube.
With a variance of $43,000. Keep that in mind.
We're on YouTube on Liberia Watch News. You go to Liberia Watch News, you'll get us on YouTube. So this
Is that Eric?
this video is not videoing. So let's go ahead from the conclusion.
So
continue.
we know that there are people who was secretly receiving money and they are not working for. So now that they are stopped that, so they are angry. There are a bunch of angry people, and those people can be angry for as long as they want to. But Liberia is not for sedition. Liberia is for Liberians. Anybody who categorizes themselves to be a special or extra special person, also our one Liberian policy, our one Liberian law that all Liberian, once a Liberian is always a Liberian, then that means you are an anti to the state.
Once a Liberian, always a Liberian.
Once a Liberian is always a Liberian. You can't change that one from all. So there are people in Liberia who think that the country belongs to only them. So if it is not them, it can be for any other person. And those are the elements that we are talking about. They are the extremists. Those people who call they are extremists, that they are idolized human being name and they put it on themselves, call themselves we are Shem. So for that reason,
that payroll, the then leadership created a supplementary payroll to accommodate those people with a dollar value of $1.5 million. The CSA went in and terminated that payroll. The CSA went in and terminated that payroll, that supplementary payroll. On that supplementary payroll, people who are calling for protest action today, their names are on that supplementary payroll that are terminated. All of them, they are on that payroll. And I'm just letting them know that very soon I'm publishing the 243 names that former Speaker Kofa put on our supplementary payroll and defrauded the government $1.5 million in 2 months, which are terminated. And that's the reason why they changed the 43K that was stealing. They took the K away and put M. They said, Minister Gaffron and Director General Jokai will tell us where our $43 million went. It's not $43 million. Let me.
So.
Man, it's good to have smart people in position that.
Right.
Family, you are muted.
If you have people who have hairs over their shoulder, you can see it. The man said it very emphatically. Nothing that is done today in our government is in Haiti. We live in the age of information now. Yeah. So how on earth will you come to the public and lie in that manner and form? So 1.5 million, the former speaker was defrauding the Liberian government because he wanted to certify few cronies of his crooked element. People are afraid to call him. I want the Director General to call him, but I already know people who are helping for protest, who are pushing for the protest. I'm all about Moru then. They didn't work on our payroll. Aka's great then. I didn't work on our payroll. Tell you then. We can call it names on and on and on and on. They don't work on our payroll over there. You're not working for something, you're getting something. Then in the end, they are the same people who say, oh, the country hard. But has anybody today mentioned in the news that the president of Liberia removed all tariff on the importation of rice in the country? No, that one will never fly around.
That's our next topic. You keep
talking to the I'm saying the good thing people are not talking. Now we're talking, the good thing will never go. But today, the only thing now you hear people saying, oh, we're going tomorrow to go defend people who they label as arsonists, people who they are political leader, then they want arrest. Then you go in there now, go put your life on the line for a car who will never show up. The last time they invited Funati to that area, a car went after the whole thing finished. And all the people who beating the drum of evil, You will never see them in the fray. But let me leave the one before we end this topic. They said when an evil plotter beats the drum for the downfall of the innocent, the gods do not allow the drum to sound. So those evil people who beating that drum to cause chaos in our country, that plan will not come to fruition. Because this government has already been ordained by God himself. So the God that the Liberian people said we will not go back to that dark days. The dark days to come to Liberia is over. Somebody saying you okay, you catch one, you catch everybody 1,000 people. Will not kill nobody. Nobody will die over there in our country by gun. Will not kill nobody. If you assemble peacefully and do not infringe on the right of other people, the government will protect you. The women that went there, they feed it. The landlord over there, nobody went behind them. So this government is banned on free speeches. You can make a free speech and you do everything you do. Once it is in the confines of the law, nobody after you. But those of you who are banned on causing trouble, just know that for every action there is equal and opposite reaction, and the law is the law. We'll use that law against you. Thank you.
Famula, do you believe that some of those people that will be over there tomorrow will be like people that would willy-nilly go there, or it will be that something that we seen the last time? We had Oman at the end of the day, they were hungry, the sun was so hot, they were promised $10 and stuff like that. Do you see something like this happen tomorrow?
Look, the Liberian people, they have learned their lessons. Many of the old people suffocated over there because they were misled. Somebody went early in the morning and shared. We saw the video. They shared some money on them and share rest on them. They say, "Oma, you get going stand. Why you're not do anything? You get going stand." And little did they know that the thing they call tear gas, you not know old, you not know young. And when those young boys then went in the cause of trouble, those young boys then left the older people where they were jumping down Jonathan, they were running. And when the old people then who were suffocating over there, somebody was saying, "Hey Allah, hey God." And you know, somebody were calling God in that very vernacular. And some of them, I don't even know what else do. Some of them even look, the thing can be so sorrowful when our people don't know exactly what they were assembled for, and they thinking that it's just the prayer meeting they're going for. You go do now that different thing the pastor go bring people secret us, and everybody say, "Oh, we thought a prayer meeting would come for." So the house someone was that's how they surprise because some people
from
Pastor go bring. Thank you, Famula. So welcome, Sandy. Welcome to the show. Were you watching? Did you understand what were so no?
No, I haven't been following the show. I've been very busy. But I'm very certain you guys are talking about tomorrow. The judiciary. I mean, they have called some lawmakers.
You should from the intellectual.
Yeah, they have called some lawmakers in tomorrow. Including my own representative from District Number 3, Grangie there. The Honorable Jacob B. Holding the mic here, the yellow mic in your hand. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Honorable Jacob B from my district.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, don't be sorry. I mean, just
sorry to hear that. Sorry about what?
Sorry about what? So, I mean, so I think I have a very good, knowledge of what's happening. So, look, this whole fire incident at the Capitol building is unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
We want the investigation to be free, fair, and speedy. I don't want it to be a politically motivated investigation. If you have mentioned names and calling people, you must have good evidence in your possession to show that, yeah, these people were associated with the burning of the Capitol building.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be based on speculations or affiliations or anything like that. We want to get to the bottom of this. We need to know who burned the Capitol building. And once those has been identified, we want the right legal measures to be taken. Now, I met my brother Fambule talking about, people gathering tomorrow and, want to gather tomorrow.
Yes, that's what they said. They're going to gather tomorrow.
And
to put that lawmakers.
It's a legal matter. You cannot take law into your own hand. Do not take law into your own hand. I followed Spoon talk a little bit today where I heard Moses Akaras Gray talking about the police will be arresting a lot of people tomorrow because we'll show up in our numbers.
Wow.
So I will add my voice to Fambule or any other person who is speaking against such gathering. Do not get yourself out there tomorrow. Do not follow people like Moses Akaras Gray or any of them, not even for my own friend and brother, Jacobs B. I know Jacob very personally. I'm not going to ask anybody to go there tomorrow and even escort Jacob. Jacob is a man of his own. If anybody should escort Jacob B tomorrow, let be his lawyer.
Yeah.
Let's be his lawyer, not any other person. They are only calling them, because they are a person of interest.
If you can't get it, you have 4 people back there.
So you see the police getting ready without no battle cry. I'm sorry, this is not.
Misuse a battle on some people tomorrow.
They should never get to that point.
No.
Unfortunately, hopefully it won't get to the point where, the police will have to use any, anything, any weapons, anything, whether it's tear gas, hot water, water tank, baton. It shouldn't get to that point. This thing of, assembling people to protest every time when something is not in your favor or you deem it not to be in your favor, it's wrong. It's wrong. By doing that, by bringing people tomorrow to protest or get on the street, signifies that you are agreeing with the investigators that these people are actually involved. If you believe that these people are not involved, why will you come on the street? You will allow the process to go. If the government do not show the Liberian people clear evidence, and since, let's say, Jacobs B to prison, for instance, I will gather the entire Bazon district or the entire Grand Jide to go protest. Well, you can now, at that time, you can use your hot water tank if you are doing it, if you did something illegal. If you just grab Jacob B without showing evidence that Jacob was involved, whether directly or indirectly, he planned this thing, he organized this thing, he assembled people, he sponsored people to do something like that. If you cannot provide such evidence, and then you just send Jacob B to prison, then the entire Bazon district will be tear gas. But until then, until that can happen, until the government can either send Jacob B to prison wrongly, there is no reason why Bazon district should go out there tomorrow. Bazon district need to be patient. Bazon district need to trust the process. We need to believe that Jacob B is not involved. Not because Jacob is my representative, then I should just jump behind him.
Sending issue, Bazon district be interested into what happened to the Capitol building?
Bazon district should be interested. Bazon district should know who burned this Capitol building. Bazon district is part of Liberia. This is our iconic building. This is what was destroyed is the Liberian people property. It belongs to Bazon District and the rest of Liberia. So it is in the interest of Bazon District that the government get to the bottom of this. But the government must do it legally, fair, just, transparent,
yeah,
and must do it with no political intent.
So, do you think that if even with these people that we're dealing with, that's why the police are looking like that? I don't think they have any intent to go and use that batu tomorrow or tear gas or hot water. But with the people that are dealing with and seeing their so-called leaders like Akaras, Moses Grennan sitting on a platform and calling for things like that, they have to be prepared for in case, because they dealt with these people before.
Yeah.
So they have to be prepared for something like that in case it happened. But I don't think they're just going there to
You eating my time or are your own
but
time?
Yes, wait a minute, stop boycotting the host.
Yeah.
So if the police come up with a conclusion to this investigation, Cindy, and say that they found these people guilty and they produce all these evidences and stuff that you're talking about, you think these people are going to take it in good faith, or they're still going to have some kind of disagreement with this?
Look, there are some people that will have disagreement. There are some people in our country, unfortunately, no matter what evidence you produce, they won't believe it. Those people will be there. That doesn't mean that the law enforcement should not do their work. They should do their work. So, for me, the police should not engage unless those getting on the street tomorrow or planning to get on the street tomorrow try to disrupt the process. Then, of course, the police should engage. Now, after this whole investigation, and if anyone is found guilty with clear evidence shown to the Liberian people, and there are some elements among others still don't believe those evidence or those evidences, then yes, then the police should even arrest them and send them to jail. If I see evidence that Jacob B was involved with this thing, and Jacob is sent to face the law, then I get on the street because Jacob is my representative, I should be arrested.
Okay. So, thank you, Cindy. So we're just gonna do transitioning on the executive order that the president signed on the tariff on rice.
Look, I mean, quickly, just give me a few seconds before you go over there. I think this particular call now by the police is very sensitive, and I think the police has exhausted all of their due diligence. They have done all of their investigation, and this time around, because remember, when they summoned Funati and the other guys the last time, and Funati said after he came out that all of the questions they posed to him, he answered it. And look, I have been in Liberia before, and I know how the police works. This is a story that I'm telling you that it happened, and I experienced it. There was a CID guy who was killed. He died allegedly. He went in the community with one other madam. He died in her room, and then they dragged his body outside and put it right behind our house. This is a living testimony. This is a living testimony, and they put his body right behind our house. My dad was the development superintendent for Cape Man that year, and he had just came that very weekend with us, with the family, with that thing happen. But when the police came, the police carried everybody in our house and our neighbor house, even the tailor shop they had on the road. All the guys who were sewing in the tailor shop, they carried everybody. And guess what? The police are already gotten the prime suspect. They already know who was the person, but they had to carry all of us for the sake of investigation.
Right.
So they carry all of us. They put all in bar. They put all of us behind bar. I mean, and my dad cooperated. He was a development superintendent, but he himself went behind bar because he said, "Look, investigation.
Everybody was just there at that point.
Yeah, and and later on they built her out, but the police got to her and said, "Look, we already know who, but we just wanted to hear, and for the purpose of investigation, so that's why they kept all of your in." So the police has already done a research. They get not all the information the police going to put on the news, but there are some sensitive information they will not put out. But those individuals of interest, when they go in tomorrow, the police will present the information and ask them those hard questions. If they can't answer, then they will charge them to court. And then they can decide now whether they will go to court with a lawyer or they will resist. And when they resist, then that's where the law will take it course. Thank you.
Thank you, Famila. So we're moving forward now. I think this is a good news for our people and for our country. For this is one of the bread and butter news. I hope it will be enough for our bread and butter advocates. Is the let me see. It says that President Bouaga issued Executive Order number 150 to suspend import tariffs on rice. June 5th, 2025. Executive Mansion, Monrovia, in an effort to ease the economic burden on Liberians and stabilize the price of rice. President Bouaga, I'm not going to call his own name, Senior, has signed an Executive Order number 150 extending the suspension of import tariffs on rice. Recognizing the mounting pressures of the high cost of living and the critical importance of rice as Liberian staple food, President Bouaga's latest executive order continue the provision of executive orders number 125, removing import tariffs on key rice categories to ensure affordability and accessibility for every Liberian. So I'm going to stop there. We're not going to read it, but I think we get the whole point. So guys, with this news in the country about, easing, because this action by the president, what is it going to do for our, people for the on the prices of rice? I mean, how is it going to help us, and what does this mean? And we'll start with Famila.
Yeah, this is a big this is a very, very big news for our people, and I want to dove off my heart to the president for always taking decision in the interest of our people. I know many of our left-wing activists and fifth colonists will not see this as a win, but for the president to remove all tariff and taxes on importation of rice, the staple food of Liberia, is going to have serious economic impact. And for one thing that we can safely say this administration has successfully done, that major commodity that is still depend on, that our people went after day, there have never been shortages of those stuff on the Liberian market. Are the prices high? Yes, but with this presidential order, this special order from the president, I think it's going to have significant impact on the prices of rice on the Liberian market, and our people will start to feel an impact, and going forward. So we
Well,
want to.
what would you say to people that would say, "Oh, this is an annual thing. It happened in his government and we as government." I mean, with the kind of economic, condition that the whole world in right now. What would you
Yeah,
say?
so this is what people have failed to realize, that this will always happen to any country who is not self-sustenance, any country who spend bulk of their resources on recurrent expenditure, who their staple food is always imported. So it is not only on Liberia that does that, other country also goes through that. And until we can change our policy to a policy where we're going to invest more money into our own homegrown rice. And that is one thing I really wish to live and see, that the many agricultural breaks our lawmaker takes, and it take thousands of dollars. If all of them could go back home, all of them, just 1 kilometer or just 1 acre of land, just plant something that you will bring back to the market after a certain period of time and sell, or let the people have access to it, so that it will have to minimize the impact we will have on the country and the government, for people spending all of our money, almost everything. And that's the reason why the other guy said it last time. The senator said, and people were going after him, $200 million spent on rice alone. $200 million spent on rice alone. To where? China and Taiwan. And you think those people who receive those $200 million going to give it easier to Liberia to say, oh yeah, they go spend money in your agriculture so you can grow your own food? They will not do it. 200 million is a huge amount of money. But our lawmaker making enough on agricultural break that can make them to do something that can at least change the narrative. Yes. So this rice situation in our country brought us to a serious unrest. We know about it. April 14, 1979. It's called the Bloody or the Evil Saturday in our history. It was because of the same issue of rice, the same ideology that was pushed by the recommendation of the agricultural minister then, Dr. Florence Shinowe, asking the government of President Turnbull, saying, let us increase the price of imported rice by a few dollars, and so that Liberia can focus more on our own homegrown product. And people spin it, people occupy it, the hack can say people stupefy it and transmogrify it, and they put our innocent people on the street, and they went and they died in cold blood for no reason. And today, even that few dollars that they put on the rest, that amount has even tripled to our today existing reality. So this is the same thing that, look, God made some people, but He gave some people wisdom. So if you can see things far ahead, and call the leadership of the time and say, hey, this is what I think we should do to prevent what will happen in the long run. And people think that you just saying it because you want to, they want to carry the press. And I had to brainwash our people. It's easier to brainwash people. So we want to tell the government of Joseph Boakai, thank you. And today I also saw that the president make a stop on the farm of the vice president, and that is impressive. I wish other people, like many other people now investing in that, then more people go back to the soil and do something
You're muted?
for our people. Now you hearing me? You hearing me?
Hearing you.
Thank you.
All right, you're not hearing me. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. So
Ture?
Yes, I'm hearing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Amy? All right. So look, at the end of the day, right? This government gets it. This government understands, obviously, that, you know, with everything that's happening in the global economy right now, you know, like, you know, I want to use President George Manawiya, former President George Manawiya approach to the whole supply and demand theory. When the rice price,
no.
But look, on some serious note, right? This is a right step in the right direction. The country is hard. I mean, the global economy obviously is telling us that, you know, and we are in the mega of it all. If we are facing any pinch here economically, then I can only wonder, at least think about what our people are faced with back home. Some of whom are not working, majority of them are not working. You know, we are not growing rice like my brother family well placed it. we rely heavily on imported rice. So this is good. This is in essence like a way for the government to say, look, we understand things are not obviously moving as they should, but we're also not going to allow your staple to have any sort of increase. So we're going to do this. We're going to remove the heavy burden, on the tariff of rice, and to have you guys have access to them at an affordable price. So those who cannot afford it but have the means to buy it. So this is good. Obviously people always say, oh, this happened during President George Manneh. We had time. Obviously President George Manneh, we are doing Ebola. Doing COVID. But what a lot of people don't even want to talk about also, it was the same during the same COVID where people are paying to both enter and exit the country. So something that was absolutely unheard of in any other country where you enter in a country, you have to take vaccine, and exit the country, you have to take another vaccine. But that's not yet not there. But this is good. This is good. Look, Liberians, we know not even this challenging time, Liberians have always had issue with rice, and that's because if rice prices go up the roof because you are taxing importer heavily, guess what? That's gonna reflect on the consumers. So the government is saying, okay, we're not gonna do that. So you can bring your rice as much as you bring it in. Our own money that is going to give us, we're gonna subsidize that, and then so that the people the citizen can be exposed to your exorbitant prices that you're gonna add on there, because so we're gonna take our part out of that. So now you can go ahead and give it to them at an affordable price. Thank you.
Thank you, Dre. So Sandy, do you think with this tariff, what do you think about it? And do you think the government is going to be cracking down on rice importers or sellers to make sure that the rice is at a stable price or at a affordable price for our people?
Well, I will hope so. I think the goal for this is to reduce the price of rice on the market.
Right.
Also to increase the import of rice, because once you remove tariffs, it encourages sellers, the business people now to bring to bring rice, more rice.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's some, at a lower cost. Instead of them, let's say spending maybe 10 million, for instance, for a container, now they might maybe spend less than that, maybe 9 million. I'm just giving out numbers, right? Mm-hmm. So that will encourage more people now to get into the rice business. Hopefully it will stabilize supplies. Hopefully it will ease the cost of living for Liberians. We do understand, we know that there is, global inflation.
Right.
And in other parts of the world, in fact, there are supply chain disruptions.
Mm-hmm.
So we hope that this will lower the price, it will increase the price, and that it will bring some economic relief to the Liberian people. And hopefully our people can see some food security. But here is the thing, we must also think about how is this going to affect the government? And the question that we should ask, and I think part of this question has kind of been addressed by Famule, Is this a long-term? Is it long-term? Does it have any sort of long-term positive effect on Liberian as a whole? Okay, the government will be losing money. The government is about to lose money on this tariff reduction or removal. Money that will probably go to other aspects of our development. Maybe the healthcare, maybe the road, maybe education. What informed the government decision to go this route? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I support this. But I would like to know more what informs the government decision to go this route.
Cindy, what if it's the cries of the people on the street, like some propagandists have been showing, oh, the people are crying, the people are hungry, they're bread and butter issue. What if that was something that one of those things that encouraged the
I don't like to use the bread and butter. Liberian, we don't eat bread and butter. We eat rice and soup. So the rice and soup issue.
Yeah,
I don't like people. Every time people say bread and butter, I think about the West. We shouldn't be copying from the West. The rice and soup issue.
But Sandy, if you read the executive order, it details a little detail in there.
Okay, so let me
explain all the information on the screen so we can go to what I know there's a JJC they're not operating here.
But Amy will get a group chat now, so sometimes some of the information you drop it in our personal group chat, so we can
real quick
be abreast.
Forgive me. I hear it. I'll do that next time. But it's fine that if you have it, you can just become on the phone.
Okay, so I mean, I want to believe the government is well informed. The government strategize on how they're going to get that money, or maybe that money is coming from somewhere else. So maybe they have already strategized on how they're going to, make the money that they are about to lose. But I want to focus on some of the impact it's going to have for our Liberian people.
Please lay it out.
Our people are so reliant. I hate to say lazy because that does not describe Liberians, but there are several Liberians that are very complacent. You give them something, they so rely on it that they will not think about tomorrow. You reduce the price of rice. They get so comfortable now, thinking that the price will never go up again, and that they will be so complacent, even in the villages. They don't even want to produce their own rice or cassava anymore. So it could discourage local production. When we continue to rely on imported rice, it will undermine our domestic rice farming.
Body smoking, cigarette, shit nice.
Mute, please.
What our government need to do, and they should continue to do, is to empower Liberian farmers. Empower Liberian farmers. Do you know the staple for Rwanda? Hello, don't shoot me. I know it's my favorite country.
No, but it's Africa, so it's a right comparison, yeah.
They eat plantain. They eat cassava. They eat beans. That's their staple. It's not imported.
They grow it.
Hello, it's not imported. They grow it. And Rwanda is all hills and mountains. On those hills and mountains, you will see people farming. You will see plantain. You will see cassava. You will see beans.
I'm in Liberia.
We have vast forests, untouched, unbothered, and we are hungry. If we cannot, our people complain is that, oh, rice hard to maintain, it's hard to grow rice, the animal can eat rice. Then move away from rice. Rice is not the only food.
What?
I mean,
rice
is not the only food. That's why we are struggling. I mean, like, we should not be hungry.
I know.
We should not be. We have food in Africa, in Liberia. Our people will not want to eat cassava. They wouldn't know how to make cassava with
You
just
gotta turn it into
fufu.
fufu.
Just fufu. They don't know how to turn it to nothing else.
Cassava grape.
Plantain. They don't know how to turn it to anything else.
Plantain chips.
I'm telling you, Dre, you can turn plantain to so many things. How many of our people in Nigeria make fufu out of plantain? Do you know we swallow plantain?
Ghanaians do, yeah.
Ghanaians do. But we are so reliant on eating our small grain called rice. Called rice. We pay the Chinese, the Indian, the Bangladesh, we pay them millions of dollars each year so they can send us something to eat. Send us rice. If they don't send it, we fight our government. Oh, that you the problem. The people, we don't have rice in the country. You don't even know whether the Bangladesh men or their farmers, are having issues in their country and they can't grow rice. Then you're blaming your country. We went to war because of rice. We went to war because of rice. It is time we stop depending on imported rice. I can't remember the last time I ate rice, I'm being honest with you. I'm intentional about it because of my health. But another?
No.
Another, yeah, I stay here.
So, yeah.
It's a good thing. I want to thank the government for thinking about the Liberian people. But I think we should provide more long-term solutions.
You just lay out, right, how the government will be losing money for doing this. Money that could be used for healthcare, for education, for stable electricities. Now, our people always, like you said, rely on, free stuff. Not knowing what it will cost the government. They want everything to happen at the same time. Not knowing what it's going to cost the government. Now, when the government do this, in those areas that you're naming, if there are locks in those areas, do you think the Liberian people will understand this?
Well, the government should come up and explain. It's a give or take, right? Or give and take. Opportunity cost. That's how we call it in economics. You got to give up something for something better.
It's not in our people dictionary.
Well, you got to explain it to your people. We are taking this step because we want to reduce the burden on our people, but it may affect us in this area. That's where the government communication team should come up. We are removing this tariff. Every year we used to make so million from this. Now we will not get this million, but we rather lose it now so that Liberian people can have lower rice costs on the market. But in the long term, this may affect us maybe for this year or next year. We may not do this, we may not do this. This money we used to get, we used to put it here and there. But because we are not getting it, we're not putting it here and there this year. You got to explain this to the people. You are serving the people. Don't assume that the people will know everything you're doing. Don't assume that because you reduce right price, then you should be quiet. Then smart people like us that know the difference may start to question. Okay, last year we saw so and so thing go to the road. Now the road from Tapeta to Grand Gita hasn't reached to Blood the other year. What is going on? The government may come on and say, oh, you remember we reduced the tariff? That money was going to that road. But we paused that road because we wanted the rice price to reduce on the market. So you have to communicate to the people. You can't be quiet about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
That is a very good point, Sandy. That is an absolute well-placed point.
And that's what the government
A lot of things have to happen.
So right. So to that effect, we can't categorically say that the government has not do their own in-house findings or do their own research and come up. I know before the president come out, unlike previous President Bouaka, will not make an executive order if he had not, consulted his lieutenant on what are the immediate impact. That's the reason why I sent out the executive order so you can read it. You can read it and you can see that this is well detailed. The government has already investigated on how they can civilize the issue of rights and still have other part of the government running and everything still in tight. But I mean, we can. It's a good point sending that you make, but I think the government of Liberia, especially this government, have already done their work. Done their homework for that aspect. We hope and pray that this will not be a permanent stuff. It'll be something that we can look at it temporarily to take off the heavy burden off the shoulder of our people while we're preparing for the long term and effect of not growing our own homegrown food. Look, I told my wife everything. My wife say, "When will you stop eating rice?" I say, "My grandfather ate rice until you were 94. I'll never stop eating rice. So don't waste your time. Rice is my staple food. I started eating rice when I was small until I reached all the way in my 30s. I don't think I'll ever stop eating rice. So don't waste your time."
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
your grandpa was eating different kind of rice. It was not
Hey,
packaged.
my man, I rest. What are different kind? The matter of fact, I rest.
I'm pretty sure your grandfather making his own rice too.
Yeah, I mean, butter about our rice.
You eating plastic rice.
Hey, my man.
And you want to say something to her?
Yeah, I just wanted to obviously look. We understand that government obviously they have done their due diligence. They know exactly like a call like this would not in any way be detrimental to the bottom line or at least to some of the government functionaries, for lack of a better word. But it is good. It is good to highlight. It is good to highlight some of these, because we have to understand that we have to understand our country. We have to understand our GDP. We have to understand our revenue generation, how revenue is being generated in our country. We have to understand that. And we know very well we're not getting it through, like how people generate funds in America here, right? Every little thing you purchase here, I mean, very well, you have to pay. Whether is a 20 cents or 15-cent tax,
yeah,
you have to be added to it, right? And Liberia have not really gotten to that point where we do that consistently. Though infrastructure have not been established. So Sandy, I totally support the idea of you bringing that out. So when people start seeing some development being stalled, just be reminded that money should be coming from somewhere. But government say, you know what? For the betterment of your bottom line, for the betterment of your bellies, for the betterment of from the economy, from the prevailing global economic hardship, that even my bro Vasco now have to do triple overtime to get the thing that he used to get, 2 months ago, right? So that's the reality that we are all faced with. And Liberia is absolutely at the bottom, of the bottom when we're talking about stuff like that. So thank you so very much.
Thank you. So Vasco, welcome. I know you're just coming. We're just about to go to the phone before you came in. Do you have anything to say about this terror? The executive order that the president signed to give our people some relief on.
Thank you. I mean, let me say hi to every one of you guys, and thank you so much for the show. At least thank you for keeping the late night show on.
Bas?
Yeah.
I see you.
Okay. So, what I have to say to this is, I'm sorry, my sister came in here, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. this is not a news, especially when it comes to executive order. For me, I look at executive order to be like a middle name for the president. Because since he came to power, there have been a lot of executive orders, but nothing is going on. You understand? And for this one too, let me frank, this is a good one for Liberia, for the country. And, you know, we saw similar thing happening on the George Weah administration. We saw the same executive order, the same old thing, to take off tariff on, you know, the rest importation.
So is it good now because it happened on George Weah?
No, I mean, listen.
You just said that executive order.
No, the intent is good, though.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, but especially for this identical group of people that's in power, it's just going to be another flow show, just another bluff. And you understand? Yeah, because imagine, I listened to my brother already complaining about the government. Look, we don't care. This is the reason why you got Saddam for 6 years and you saw all the loopholes. You saw the problem of Liberia and you said you were going there to fix it. So no one should say there to complain, oh, if the government dropped tariff on the importation of rice and other stuff, people should start fasting the seat belt, especially when it comes to development. If you see the government is not doing well in certain things because people aren't paying their taxes or whatsoever. Look, if I was the president, there's one major thing he need to focus on. Coming on and just putting a piece of paper outside every day with no implementation. And you know, it makes no sense. Because you can even put your 10, 15 executive order outside. I mean, once the US rate is going up to the level it is, there will be no effect on the price of commodities in Liberia. The US will always determine things prices. Because if I'm a businessman, if I have to pay a high rate to get a United States dollar and import my stuff into the country, I'm gonna put all the profit back to get my money back.
So you think the government should focus?
The government should strategize and see how best they can deal with the issue of the rate. Once the rate is down, tin prices will come down. Even the rest that people ordering now, it will also drop or bring it into the country. But just put the executive order and the rate be going up, that's just for nothing. That's why I'm saying there's a good intent though. But there's certain things that you need to look at before that your executive order will come into effect. Is the rate. A rate going up almost every day. You call people in Liberia and they will tell you tin prices are not stable. All depends how I change my money. That's how I sell my goods.
Has tin prices always been stable in Liberia, or this is just the way things are?
I mean, this is a rescue government. And this is a question that you people shouldn't be asking. If this thing always happen, you came to rescue. No other government working and say, "Will come and rescue Liberia." You came there, you say you were rescued, so you know all the problems. So that question not for us. It is for you to stabilize whatsoever that been happening back there that was wrong. It is you. Because you got all the sophisticated people in your government. You got all your president got 42 years experience. So every problem our country been going through, their government need to fix it. If you don't fix it, you don't have the right to be talking yet.
What does rescue mean to you?
Then you are a failure. Don't be complaining on what happened in the past. We need solution. We need answer from you people. So when you go back to the past, then it make you weak.
What does rescue mean to you, Vasco?
What the essence of you changing the people that were there? If you know you couldn't build, or you can build on the success that they made to improve things. But every day you complain about them. So then they'll stop now. They'll just let the man to be there.
Okay, Vasco, if what does rescue mean to you?
when someone said about a rescue, that means your trouble is over. Maybe you are even drowning in the water and somebody rescue you from there. You are going to die in that water. Somebody went to your rescue that made you to live again. So while the Liberian, according to you, the Liberian people were dying. They were almost, the country was rotting. Everything was spoiled. So you went to rescue. You went to rescue the infrastructure, the road development. You went to rescue hunger. You went to rescue the suffering of the people. These are the things you want to rescue. So when you go rescue these people from these things, and so early the people crying, saying that what is the rescue? Because of the war you use. These are the wars you are using. Georgia is not doing this. Georgia is that. You put on there that will rescue. So Liberia was in the toilet. You came to take them from there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know. They also they don't feel it. Sharing money. When your friends do it the last time, he said the economy in the toilet. So now you came to rescue, but you even doing more than what the people did the last time. So you guys, y'all need to do well. Y'all need to do well. I always tell you, in as much I against Joseph Boakai Bobo, when the president do the right thing for the country, I will not be having the voice to kind of talk because you will see the good things. You will see it for the faces of the people in the country. But right now, the people they are angry, and your government is not even finding solution. They're even intensifying the hunger. They're multiplying the suffering. Taking poor people from their homes, putting them in the street, don't get nowhere to go. You're not thinking about the easy bread and butter issue before you can start attacking these people. The people who voted for you to walk in the poo water. You try to make them homeless because one man can say, I don't want only 30 acres of land. You don't even have the human feelings. But you just want to take them off. That they rescue them. So, I mean, tomorrow again, you can bring another more and discuss it.
We were on the rice turf, but since you decided to go all over the place, Sandy,
yeah, I know on the rice. It's only about just trying to do. I just come to gonna beat around the bush.
You gotta go all over. We know you good for that. Sandy, come in. We are 30 seconds.
So I just want to agree, but also to add something to Vasco. I agree. The U.S. exchange rate going up will affect the market.
Yeah.
Would definitely affect the price. But Vasco, in the rice business, both can be considered, right? The exchange rate and then the tariff or what the importer also have to pay can also determine the price. So both can be considered. Now, if since one has been taken away, we will hope that now the price will go down a little bit. Let's say, Vasco was paying both the tariff and then the US rate continue to go up. The price will be very high. Mm-hmm. But if Vasco is no longer paying the tariff, right, and the US rate is still high, the price should still be a little low because now Vasco, the burden of the tariff has been taken from Vasco. But I definitely agree. The US rate should be targeted.
Yeah.
The level of acceleration we've seen with this rate is ridiculous. Ghana recently fought so hard to reduce the US rate in Ghana. Now it's $1 to 5 Ghana cedis. And we're talking about 200 plus. Mm-hmm. So we got to fight the same way countries like Ghana are fighting to reduce their US rate. We must also fight to reduce the rate. But I think we must commend removing the tariff. I argue it's not a long-term solution. I think we need a long-term solution, but it is a temporary solution to bring some sort of relief to our people.
Family?
Look, the regulation of the US rate in Liberia is something that is under serious consideration. Is an old age problem. Yes, we agree that the government needs to do more to give some value to the Liberian dollar. But the issue about dual currency in any country, especially in country that has so much money spent on recurrent expenditure for you to find stability in the US rate is very, very difficult. You can look around. There are other countries who have used who have even abandoned their own currency, the Zimbabwe. You don't even know which currency is the legal tender now in Zimbabwe. So
Isn't that Liberia? Doesn't that happen in Liberia too?
So I mean, at some point, it just boiled down to the same thing that we're saying that the government should do more so that we can spend less on importing our own homegrown food, and most of the food that we should focus on, it should be something Liberia import more of what we use than what we export. That's the reason why you will find it very difficult to have the US rate under control. But again, the government, in their wisdom, can do whatever they think is prudent enough. I'm very sure that President Bouaka has listened to the cry, because all of these interviews that you see all over in the market square that is going around, the president listens to them. The president hear them, his advisor hear them, and they are working tirelessly to find remedy to the situation. Problem will not finish, but when problem of this nature arises, people find way to solve them.
Well, Vasco say if you say you came to rescue, that mean it mean that you finish all the problems.
I'm not listening to what Vasco says. Vasco can continue with his regular. His tone never changes. Vasco is a very consistent guy, and that's what I like him about. He's very consistent, and even if you even pull red in from Vasco now, once he is in his CDC's jiu-jitsu, you will see that in that purple. So I'm not here to, I agree with Vasco on some part of it that the rescue government need to do more. Yeah, that's the positive side about what he said. It's good. This is what we call democracy. You fairly criticize what the opponent is doing, and you admonish them and encourage them to do more. But that issue when you're saying the rescue government, this, that, Vasco then came on the mantra of change for hope. Which of the change for hope you saw over there? Was there any change for hope?
I can tell you some of the change.
Yeah, if you come there, you say that, but you came there to check. Next time, come early so we can come and discuss that change for hope. That change for hope, I can tell you more than 20 different things.
No, we're not going back to change for hope.
No, but you brought about rescue.
You say you ask questions.
Are we going to the phone line?
No, I'm not. That's why I said I'm not taking you that Amy wanted me to answer that your rescue thing. I said you never change. So I'm even going there to
okay, guys. So well,
I don't want to go there because
the number here you can call in to make your point on these issues that we already discussed. The number is 267-586-5479. It's 267-586-5479. Call in to give us your point or make your point on these 3 topics, right? Or 2 that we discussed. The Capitol building burning, and President Bouaka signing an executive order for rice tariff to be suspended. So yeah, give us a call and let us know what you think about it. So while we waiting, Vasco, you can
yeah. And again, one thing I want to say again, Liberia is a different country. Today, the executive order that the president put out, that is another avenue for huge corruption at the port. Again.
How so?
Let's think. So, the port authority, people who work at that port now, being that the government has suspended tariff on especially rice, most of these people that will be bringing the rice into the country before it get clear from that port, you will have to pay good sum of money again. It will not just be like, they will find all kinds of means to get something. You will not just walk and you bring the shape, the goods inside, and you will just clear that place. You will, there are people about enough stealing about to happen to the port, and you will get it soon. You say Vasco said it.
Okay.
Because our country is that different. A lot of people sometimes you sit down, you be thinking, why Liberia can move forward? And you know sometimes when I sit down, yeah, you're pressing and rescue people. And I want you to take a clear look at the people that are working now. And take a clear look at them just one year ago. See them. You will know that in Liberia, the government is not a place that people think they're going to save. It's a place that people go to hustle for their and their family. And this government is not, I mean,
is that a good thing,
I'm saying that in general. Even my government, the citizen government.
Is that a good thing?
It is a bad thing, but you be asking yourself why Liberia is not going anywhere. The day we decide to serve our country, vote of petty politics and just stealing. Look at Daniel Sando. Somebody was showing me Daniel Sando stores that he building. How long he been in government? You see those guys, you see them. You will sit there and say, Liberia will go somewhere. We will try. And that's some of the reason why we just sit here when somebody talk about Georgia, we want to chew you. Because with all the stealing, the corruption people are talking about, but we could see something. Today, you go to Liberia, you will see things. You will see horses, unit for poor people that are not paying a cent. That's some of the change we were talking about. But we wait to see what's going to happen in your 6 years. Your 6 years started with calamity, and you're not even thinking how to solve the problem. You stay intensifying the problem. Tomorrow, you're going to arrest almost 6 or 7 lawmakers from a single political party. I mean, my question to most of the people who support the government, you think what you're doing to these people today, knowing the fact that you will not be in power until you die, other people will come there. These are the reasons why war went to Liberia. Because a group of people felt disenchanted. Liberia right now, all we need is reconciliation. We move this country forward.
Thank you, Vasco.
The people who burn the capital, Benny Jean Colette, read down there clearly. They may have crying on live TV and said they didn't expect the fire to be there. But you laughing. Yeah, they may have laughed.
Thank you, Vasco.
We didn't expect the fire to be like this.
Thank you,
but you lead that man, you're not even calling him.
There are some
points, group of people.
There are some points again that Vasco may and I want to agree with some of that. Now, Vasco, I agree. I mean, past and present administrators that have led the country has been corrupt in every aspect. No one can argue here on this line that this administration is free of corruption. If you do, then I have serious issue with you. I think what the government should do, I mean, with your concern that it's possible for folks to now try to steal or maybe charge extra costs to the importers, I think what the government should do is to establish clear regulations, put some regulation in place to ensure that the importers are not affected, any further. Because again, the essence of this is to reduce the price of rice. Right. So if people working at the port are charging extra money, then it's unfair to the Liberian people. So the government should put in measure to ensure that their employees are not intimidating, rice importers, are not charging them any extra cost and that the rice importers are now also being, receptive to some level of corruption. And we should get to a point now where when people approaching you to be corrupt or asking you for money, you should be comfortable enough to report those people too. Report those people so that we need to have some watchdogs across the country. That's the only way we will have some fair playing field and serve the Liberian people rightfully.
Thank you, Sandy.
Yeah, absolutely. There should be no excuse for anyone trying to accelerate poverty on the Liberian people.
So, see, Sandy, I know you're trying to get it from, you give Vasco the benefit of the doubt. Why he's right about corruption, he's also contradicting himself. He's telling us that even the corruption in government, that you got people putting people on payroll, or people there are not doing the jobs, that they're being removed or something like that. He's telling us government is a place that you go to go hustle and not to serve the people. And if this government is kind of like, draining the swamp on that, that's something bad, because they're taking food from on people's table. How can you then tell us about corruption in the other place, but then you don't want to, like, civil servants pay less, and other one you against it, and then you're saying that people if the government does that, then I mean they're not doing this, they're not doing that, they leave this, and then they're taking food from people's table, and then people want to hustle in government, they're moving them from there, they're doing that. Like that mindset is what we're trying to get rid of. Government should be a place to serve. Like what we were saying here right now about, we have all the lands in Liberia. We have people are there. Don't get me wrong, not all Liberian people, but you got some people that are just reliant on things like that. When you try to do something free or do something, the thing that they shouldn't help themselves. This is what's supposed to happen. Some people think that it's supposed to be at their houses and government come and do this and do that.
Look, Amy,
payroll.
Amy, I don't know how far we're going to be on the show, because Vasco came and opened a whole new piece, and I don't know what we're going to do.
Waiting for the callers. Nobody
Okay, then I beg to leave you guys, because
so I think we can close.
We can, if the callers are not something.
I mean,
I just wanted to point that out.
Can I clarify, please, before the
do that in your closing.
Okay.
You want to start? You can start, Vasco.
No, I'll be the last.
Okay, no problem. Since you came last,
choose who's the last.
You can eat your show.
Okay, I'll finish. I'm here close.
That you running the show? I said close.
You see some of the partiality.
Vasco.
No problem.
Hey, my man. Let me make Vasco to close. Let Vasco do your show.
After you, Vasco will go.
Yeah, I mean, you misquoted me. I said, our country, Liberia, the way people look at government, they don't look at government to be a place to go and serve. People look at government to be a place to hustle. And do you think that those ministers, you think those guys can sit down? All the ministers that are working rescue government, do you think those guys can sit down and wait for a month to end before they pay? Because no government can pay people on time. Sometimes they can go home in the second month. So you should be asking yourself how they managing. You see all the men, every weekend you go, you see them in the city to other woman place on 19th Street there, spoiling money. So I said, people don't look at government in Liberia to be that they want to go there and serve the country. That you go and take your just salary. The one you make it, that the way we work here, what for us, that what we get. You can't do no hassle. That's how the people look at it in Liberia. Most people go in government to go hustle. I bet when these people are saying now to them, Mohali not saying I have going behind Jawasi Koji and giving them money, begging them for money. But today you see Mohali. They just did one almost 2 years in the government. Most of the Bogani rich already. You're looking at Jeremy Piane who was saying already on Class Bureau that they feed it. with a share nickname going one side. You see there now they're looking. They were in 2 years. So Fernando says, yeah, they're going to reach. And that is not the salary they're making. Because they get cut from different comments, a very deep place. Kuku, you know, inside, you know. I said that how most of our people take our government to be in Liberia. Yeah. And then you said something. Let me just close with that.
Yeah, please close.
You said the government decided to put people down from payroll. And, you know, the ordinary, the poor people who are doing sweeping jobs.
No, people who are not working. That's what I said.
These people were working. I mean, the people, they do all the heavy lifting. They do all the heavy lifting.
That's
you go. If you go now to some of the minister's office, you will see 4 or 5 girls and just saying out to the door, doing nothing but the payroll, on the payroll. But what your government did, that's quite different from what we did. When we came, we try to empower the poor people, getting job. But you took the poor people out of job and what? Brought the bourgeoisies. To the president offered a look at more than 100 advisors. And each other advisor making huge sum of money, not less than 15,000. That 15,000 could pay more than 50 people, poor people, at that ministry. That is different than what you guys did, and what making people. You can hear from the street now. They say nobody buying.
Thank you, Roscoe.
Nobody buy because the poor people are getting a small salary. They want to go to the market to buy food, but now they can't get it. They say they can't pay the children's school fee. That the kind of evil thing you're carrying, like, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Family. Yes, indeed.
All right. Since you're not following the cube, I can still go. What a great show. And I want to use this medium to say thank you for the opportunity again to be here to speak to the consciences of our people and to reinvigorate their hope and to remind them that again, as President Bwaga has always said, government should be all about service to the people, and the life of the government official should reflect the livelihood of our people. And he has been one of the many selfless leaders that Liberia have ever had in its history. And I want to also say thank you to my fellow panelists, and let us continue to preach the positive news for our people. And I agree with partly what Vasco said, that many of our friends and colleagues who decide to go into government primarily goes into government with the mindset to loot and steal from our people. But that mindset will only come to an end if we all continue to preach the positive side, continue to beat on them like how we always do on these shows. We disagree to agree, but let us proffer positive and or substantive and a recommendation to move our country forward. Let us not use divisive and fake news or fake politics to derail the fragile peace that we have. So on behalf of my family and the rest of the other people who always follow us on this platform, I want to say thank you for always sharing our show and commenting. It really helped us, and we hope for our dawning of a new day in Liberia. Thank you very much.
Sandy?
Well, thank you for hosting us again, Emmy. Regarding the investigation that is ongoing tomorrow, I again want to urge everyone to just allow the investigation to go on without any without interruption. No one should get on the streets tomorrow, and just allow the investigations to take place. I'll also urge the government to be very fair, to be transparent, and to provide proof. Or, if you are accusing anyone, or if you want to, give any sort of verdict against anyone, you must give strong proof. Anything outside of that, then of course the Liberian people have all reason to stand out, to rise up and fight against injustice. We don't want any injustice. But no one is above the law. Not any sitting representative, not any, past or current president. We are all Liberians at the end of the day. So those called in tomorrow should go there with their lawyers. No one else, besides their lawyers, should follow them there tomorrow. And it just allow the process to go on. Removing tariffs from the rice, again, has been thoroughly discussed. We thank the government for thinking about the Liberian people. This should not be our long-term solution. Our long-term solution should be empowering our local farmers, giving them the necessary resources they need to farm. It is not easy and it is not cheap to farm. I say that with experience. So whenever we complain that, our people don't want to farm, they don't want to farm, just doing it by hand is not enough. My parents farm all their life. And every time they farm, like my late father had 3 wives. I just disclosed his secret. So every year, the man was a chief. He had 3 wives. So every year he had to make 3 or 4 hectares for 1 wife. So what would 3 or 4 hectares do, right? After hard work, that 3 or 4 hectares, when you're feeling plenty rice, will probably carry you for maybe.
No, you should. I thought about that for having 3 wives.
Well, that's the case for a lot of people. I mean, in fact, 3 or 4 hectares per wife, that was a very strong man. Some people with 1 wife cannot even carry on 2 hectares. 2 hectares, which is 4 acres, I think. So what I'm saying is, most of our people do those things by hand. They use their hand to brush. They use their hand to cut the trees down. It is not an easy work. If you empower the people with the necessary resources they need to do mega-large farming, huge farms, then we can produce rice to feed Liberians. But if our people don't have the resources, like this guy, Armstrong Java from Nimba, who is heavily into rice production, empower such an individual, give him the machines he needs, empower him to produce rice, to feed Liberian people. He has proven it that he can produce enough rice to feed the Liberian people. With such track record, empower him. But by just reducing tariff cannot solve our problem. It can solve it temporarily. It can give a little bit of relief, but it's not a long-term solution. And I'm asking the government to give us long-term solution. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, everything you guys have said it already, but Cindy, I don't want that part about people using that this so they could. We're not talking about feeding the whole country. If you're doing that to feed yourself, that has always been done for people to feed themselves. Until that can come, I don't think we should be encouraging our people that they need to sit down until the government gives them something before they can plan or make farm to feed themselves. I don't think that's well. If you're talking about Ashton Jabba, is a different case that we're talking about. That one is a big old thing that he's doing, installing it and feeding the country. So that's a different situation in our cause. But I think we can encourage them to do that, and also encourage the government. Why encouraging the government to make it easier on them instead of saying that, because of that they shouldn't be doing it at all. But anyways, thank you guys. Thank you, Mount Ruth. Thank you, Tommy Jr. if you're still there. Thank you everyone who's watching online and now commenting. Thank you for being here with us. We appreciate you. What's wrong, family?
Oh, I thought the show ended already. That's
Oh,
what I'm
you're
saying.
saying bye. Oh, I think you're okay. Yeah, thank you guys for being here. And God's willing, we'll see you tomorrow, but it's not going to be here. It will be on the Spoon Talk, as we said throughout this week. Monday to Thursday, we'll be on here. Sometimes Sunday. It depends what happens in the country. We'll be on here if we have the time, but this platform is
Most definitely tomorrow we have to be here because of the plan. Or based on the outcome of tomorrow, we'll be here. We have
No,
to.
we'll be on Spoon. We'll be on
Yeah.
Spoon.
I mean, yeah, on Spoon. I mean, we'll be on Spoon. So
We'll be on Spoon. Well, Friday and Saturday, and yeah. So Monday to Thursday we're here. Come back. You can get us through Liberia Watch News on Facebook and YouTube. Hope so. Hopefully, God's willing. Next we will get it together and we'll be prompt on time and everything. And thank you for being here with us. We appreciate you, and thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow on Spoon Network.
Good night, team.